Hi, I'm Mary. I'm a librarian turned book reviewer with a focus on literature written for kids, tweens, and young adults. And today I'm going to be talking to you about a new book that's coming out soon called The Last Shadow Warrior by Sam Subity. So, this is not what I was expecting. When I first started getting into it, it was better. So, what it is, it's basically a modernized version of Beowulf. So, for all of you who read Beowulf in high school and had a hard time understanding it, this is a really good way for you to kind of get around that in a really fun, exciting way. So, this is the story of Abby Beckett, who is a Viking. So, that's her big secret. She's been living with it her whole life, and the woman who knew all about it died 4 years before this book takes place. So, she's 12 in this book. Her mother died when she was 8. So there's been a lot of mystery in her life around this. She's not allowed to really talk about being a Viking. She doesn't really know what she's supposed to be doing with her skills or even if she has them in the first place. So there's a lot of that teen angst that tends to happen with 12-year-olds anyway, but it's heightened by the fact that her mother is gone and that she's a Viking. So one day she is at home with her father. He leaves the house for a few minutes, and there's a really scary intruder who comes in. And because of that experience, she and her dad have to pack up really fast and move across the country from North Carolina to Minnesota. And that's where she starts at this fancy school, and she gets in on a scholarship for a Viking sport, which, as a Harry Potter fan myself, I found a lot of similarities to Quidditch, although it really is an actual Viking sport that's played on a lot of campuses across the country. So she, of course, has no idea what to do in this sport, and she ends up having to kind of figure it out on her own. But on their way there, her father is hurt by this man, this giant on a motorcycle who's chasing them down the highway. And he gets hit with something called Svefnthorn, which I have to say is a very fun word to say. But it puts him into this deep sleep, and it's up to Abby and her friends to figure out how to rescue him from this sleep state. So it's action packed. One of the great things about this book is that every single chapter ends in a way that you have to keep reading to the next one. So even from the first chapter, you're in the story, you're involved in it, and you can't put it down. So I found myself more than once reading past my bedtime because I just couldn't stop reading at a certain chapter because I had to find out what happened next. So it's set up really nicely for a sequel, which I'm sure is coming soon. But if this sounds like a book that you'd be really interested in, I highly recommend it, especially for fans of English literature, Harry Potter, magic realism, that kind of thing. So it's better because of the text size for confident middle grade readers. So if you're looking at a middle grade student, that's what you're looking for. There's no pictures, but it's a really vivid writing style. So, The Last Shadow Warrior by Sam Subity, out in April 2021. If you think this is a good fit for you, look for it at your favorite bookstore.